You've felt it, haven't you? That unshakable pull, a quiet hum beneath the noise of your everyday life. Like the universe itself is whispering your name. This isn't random. This isn't coincidence. The cosmic alignment is revealing your true identity as one of the chosen ones, and it's happening now, right here, right in this moment. The stars aren't just aligning. They're shouting, stripping away the illusions that have kept you blind to who you really are. You're not here by accident. You're a force, a spark of something ancient and unstoppable. And the whispers in the wind are calling you to step into that truth. That first encounter with the whispers, it hit you like a jolt, didn't it? Maybe it was a sudden clarity in the middle of chaos, a voice in your gut that wouldn't shut up, or a breeze that carried a message you couldn't ignore. Science backs this up. Your brain is wired to pick up patterns, to sense shifts in energy that defy explanation. Call it intuition, call it quantum entanglement. Your cells are resonating with a frequency older than time itself. This is your awakening moment. The instant you realize the life you've been living is a shadow of the destiny waiting to claim you. You're not imagining it. The whispers are real and they're yours. So how do you know this is you? Start watching yourself, really watching. Notice how you're drawn to ideas, places, or people that feel like home, even when they make no sense to anyone else. Track those moments when your energy spikes, when you feel alive for no damn reason. That's not random excitement. That's your soul recognizing its mission. Look at your hands. Those aren't just flesh and bone. They're tools of a legacy you're only beginning to understand. The chosen ones don't blend in. You've always stood out, even when you tried to hide. Stop doubting it. The signs are screaming at you. Your restlessness, your hunger for more, your refusal to settle for less. At first, feeling the whispers can shake you up. You might resist, tell yourself it's nothing, that you're just tired or overthinking. That's the old you talking, the one conditioned to stay small. But then it hits again, stronger, undeniable, and you feel it. The pull, the return, the restoration of what was always meant to be yours. This isn't about chasing some fluffy dream. This is about claiming what's been stolen from you, what's been guarded in the shadows by forces you can't yet see. A mysterious benefactor, someone with wealth, power, and vision, has been watching, protecting what's rightfully yours. You don't need proof yet. You feel the truth in your bones. Here's how you step into this. Stop running from the discomfort. Lean into it. When the whispers come, whether it's a thought that won't leave, a synchronicity that slaps you awake, or a surge of courage you can't explain, don't brush it off. Sit with it. Ask yourself, what's this telling me? Write it down if you have to. Your mind's been trained to dismiss your power, but your spirit knows better. Next, test it, act on one of those nudges. Say yes to something that scares you, move toward what lights you up. The cosmic alignment isn't passive. It's a call to fight for your identity. You're not waiting for permission, you're taking it. This shift isn't soft or gentle, it's a reckoning. You're moving from confusion to certainty, from doubt to ownership. The whispers in the wind aren't here to coddle you. They're here to wake you up. Every time you feel them, you're peeling back another layer of the lie that's kept you small. You're not just anyone. You're a chosen one, and the universe is rigging the game in your favor. That benefactor in the shadows? They've been holding your inheritance, a birthright of power, abundance, and purpose, until you were ready to see it. Well, guess what? You're ready now. You've woken up to the truth. Haven't you? The veil's been ripped off, and now you see them for what they are. The evil family who orchestrated this grand theft, living off your birthright like parasites feasting on a legacy they never earned. They've built their empire on your stolen ground, gorged themselves on your abundance, and convinced the world it was theirs all along. But here's the kicker. They're not as solid as they pretend. You're standing tall now, and they're scrambling, panicking, because deep down they know you know. This isn't their story anymore. It's yours, and you're about to turn their deception into dust. Let's get real. Facing them isn't easy. They've got the masks, the smiles, the social games locked down tight. They'll parade their stolen wealth in front of you, flaunt their fake authority, and try to gaslight you into believing you're the intruder. You'll feel the pressure. Their eyes judging, their words cutting, their energy slimy and suffocating. But you're not here to play nice or shrink back. You're a chosen one, and your bloodline carries a contract older than their lies. Science says your DNA holds memories, imprints of resilience and power passed down through generations. Spirit says it's your destiny kicking in. Either way, you're untouchable, they just don't know it yet. So how do you handle them in the moment? First, anchor yourself. When they start their performance, bragging about their houses built with your bricks, their tables set with your silver, breathe deep and feel your feet on the ground. Picture roots shooting down from you, connecting to something ancient, something they can't touch. You don't owe them an explanation or a reaction. Stare through them, not at them. Let your eyes say, I see you and I'm not impressed. Your silence is a weapon. It unnerves them more than any argument ever could. They're used to control, not defiance. You're rewriting the rules. Next, flip their chaos into your fuel. They're panicking because they sense the shift. Their dynasty's crumbling, and they can't stop it. Every time they lash out, every time they try to pull you into their drama, they're showing you their weakness. Take that energy, their desperation, their flailing, and channel it inward. Feel it ignite your resolve. You're not just surviving their mess, you're thriving in it. Neuroscience proves this. Stress can sharpen your focus, heighten your instincts. Spiritually, it's the fire forging your purpose. They're scrambling to hold something that was never theirs. Let that truth pump through your veins like adrenaline. Here's where you double down. Remind yourself who you are when no one else gets it. The world around you, friends, strangers, even those you thought were allies, might not see the battle. They'll call you paranoid, dramatic, or obsessed. That's fine. They don't have to understand. You're not here for their approval. You're here for your mission. When the noise gets loud, go quiet inside. Speak it to yourself. Destiny doesn't forget. My bloodline's contract outlasts their deception. Say it until it's a drumbeat in your chest. This isn't about proving anything to them. It's about knowing it for you. Now, let's make it practical. When they push, you push back, not with fists or shouting, but with action. Start small if you have to. Claim one piece of your birthright. A thought, a boundary, a step toward what's yours. Maybe it's cutting their access to you, refusing their calls, or walking away mid-sentence. Maybe it's digging into what they stole, researching your lineage, your rights, your power. Every move you make cracks their foundation. They built their lives on a lie, and lies don't hold weight against truth. You're not asking for permission to take it back, you're doing it. Their panic is your signal. They're clutching at shadows now, fingers slipping on wealth and influence that's already rejecting them. You feel that shift, don't you? The air's changing, thicker with possibility, lighter with justice. That's your destiny flexing its muscles. You don't need to fight their whole system head-on yet. Just keep standing in your truth. Every day you refuse to bow, their grip weakens. Science calls it entropy, systems built on fraud collapse under their own weight. Spirit calls it balance, what's yours is coming home. Either way, they're done and you're just getting started. This isn't about revenge. It's about reclamation. You're not here to waste energy hating them. You're here to rise above them. When they throw their tantrums or tighten their schemes, step back and watch. See how small they look, how frantic. That's not power, that's fear. You've got the real strength, the kind they'll never touch because it's woven into your soul, your cells, your stars. Destiny didn't forget you, and it's not forgetting them either. Their time's up. Yours is now. Something is shifting. You feel it, don't you? That electric charge in the air. The way your skin prickles when you're alone with your thoughts. The sudden rush of knowing that hits you out of nowhere. This isn't your imagination playing tricks. This is high-dimensional information downloading straight into your core. A signal from the cosmos that's been waiting for you to tune in. You're not just a bystander in this life. You're a conduit, a receiver of truths that cut through the noise. The restoration of what was always meant to be yours is accelerating. And these shifts are your wake-up call. Get ready, your soul's been prepping for this longer than you realize. Let's cut through the haze. These aren't vague feelings or fleeting vibes. When the whispers in the wind start, when those strange synchronicities pile up, like seeing the same number everywhere, hearing a song that speaks your exact thoughts, or meeting someone who says what you've been silently screaming. It's a direct line opening up. Science can frame it as your brain's reticular activating system locking onto patterns, but that's just the surface. Spiritually, it's a frequency shift, a recalibration to a bandwidth most people never access. You're not most people. You're a chosen one, and this is your signal breaking through the static of a world built to keep you asleep. So how do you know it's real? How do you separate the high-vibe downloads from your own projections or wishful thinking? First, check the energy. True high-dimensional info lands with weight. It's sharp, clear, and unshakable, like a blade slicing through doubt. It doesn't beg for your approval or twist itself into knots to fit your ego. Self-projection feels flimsy by comparison, repetitive, needy, clinging to what you already believe. When the real stuff hits, it's often inconvenient, even jarring. Challenges you, pushes you, forces you to stretch beyond your comfort zone. Ask yourself, does this feel like me talking to myself, or something bigger breaking in? You'll know the difference when you stop lying to yourself. Now, let's talk about the moments where time bends around you. Those surreal pauses when the world slows, and you're hyper-aware, almost outside yourself. Maybe it's a near miss that should have ended you, a conversation that predicted tomorrow, or a gut punch of clarity in the chaos. They never expected you to survive this far, did they? The ones who stole your birthright, who buried the truth. They thought they'd cut you off, make you doubt, make you forget. But here you are, standing in the wreckage of their plans, feeling the shift like a storm rolling in. That's not luck. That's destiny flexing its grip, proving your spirit's tougher than their schemes. Here's how you hold that state. Don't flinch. When the synchronicities stack up, 3 crows on your windowsill, a stranger dropping a phrase you dreamed last night, a clock stuck on 11:11. Don't dismiss it as coincidence. Lean in hard. Feel the defiance pumping through you. They tried to erase you, but you're still here, louder than ever. Neuroscience says your amygdala lights up under threat, sharpening your senses. Spiritually, it's your soul roaring back to life. You're not just surviving their sabotage, you're thriving in the cracks they left behind. Let that fire burn. It's your proof they've already lost. Ready to catch these downloads like a pro? Step 1. Quiet the noise. Your mind's a battlefield, cluttered with their lies, your distractions, the world's garbage. Carve out 5 minutes a day, no excuses. Sit still, breathe deep, and let the static fade. Don't force it, just listen. The whispers don't scream, they hum. Step 2. Trust your body. When the info drops, you'll feel it. Goosebumps, a racing pulse, a heat in your chest. That's your system confirming what your mind might resist. Step 3. Test it fast. If a nudge says call her or go there, do it. See what unfolds. Action locks in the signal. Hesitation muddies it. Don't get cocky, though this isn't a game of guessing. The stakes are high. The restoration of what's yours isn't some poetic metaphor. It's a tangible reclaiming, wealth, power, purpose they've hoarded for decades. They spent years convincing themselves the stolen inheritance was theirs to keep, but the wealth rejected them. The spirit of abundance they hijacked was never meant to serve them. It's coded for you. You feel that, don't you? The way opportunities slip through their fingers while your path starts lighting up? That's not random. That's the universe correcting itself, and you're the key. Here's the gritty truth. Receiving this info isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it's a flood, names, dates, flashes of faces you've never met but somehow know. Sometimes it's a slow drip, a puzzle you piece together over weeks. Either way, it's work. Write it down. Every detail, no matter how wild. Your phone's notes app is fine. A scrap of paper works too. Date it. Look back later and connect the dots. You'll see the thread. How that random hunch led to a door cracking open. How that whisper tied to a truth you couldn't have known. This is your map forming, your battle plan taking shape. And when it gets heavy, because it will anchor yourself, the downloads can leave you buzzing, restless, like you're carrying lightning in your veins. Ground it out. Walk barefoot on dirt, grip a stone, splash cold water on your face. You're not frying out, you're leveling up. They never expected you to handle this, but you were built for it. Your bloodline's been waiting, humming with a contract they can't break. Science might call it epigenetics, traits forged through generations of grit. Spirit calls it fate. Either way, it's yours and it's waking up fast. This shift is your edge. While they wonder why nothing lasts, why their riches decay in their hands, you're plugging into the source they'll never touch. The whispers, the synchronicities, the bending time. They're not quirks. They're weapons. Use them. Sharpen them. Every signal you catch is a step closer to tearing down their illusion. You're not just feeling the change, you're driving it. The restoration's already rolling. You're not waiting for it, you're claiming it. They thought they'd bury you. Instead, you're rising, and the cosmos has your back. You've reached the final stretch of this journey, haven't you? The pieces are falling into place, and the weight of your bloodline's contract, older than their deception, is pressing down on reality itself. This isn't a vague promise or a distant hope. Their downfall isn't coming. It's already happening. You feel it in the cracks of their crumbling illusions, in the way their stolen power slips through their fingers like sand. You're not here to wait for destiny to do the heavy lifting. You're here to embody it, to drive it, to become the living proof that their false structures collapse one by one. This is your mission realized, and it starts now. Let's break it down. Your bloodline carries a contract that predates their lies, a sacred blueprint woven into your very DNA. Science tells us your genes hold memories. Epigenetic markers of resilience, rebellion, and unbreakable will pass down through generations. Spiritually, it's a cosmic pact, a vow that no amount of theft or betrayal can erase. You're not just carrying history, you're carrying a mandate. Their deception was built on quicksand, greed, manipulation, control, while your lineage is rooted in something eternal. Every step you take in truth makes their illusions unravel faster. You don't need to tear down their empire with your hands. Your existence does that just fine. So how do you bring this ancient contract into reality? First, stop doubting its power. You've been conditioned to think small, to question your worth, to believe their version of the story. But every time you catch yourself slipping into that trap, pause and feel the hum in your veins. That's not just blood. It's a legacy screaming to be claimed. Start by speaking your truth out loud, even if it's just to yourself in the mirror. Say it, I am the one they couldn't bury. My bloodline's contract outlives their lies. Words have power. Quantum physics shows vibrations shape reality. Spiritually, it's a declaration that cracks their facade. Every time you affirm who you are, their false structures tremble. Next, move with intention. Their downfall isn't a spectator sport, you're the catalyst. One by one, their illusions unravel when you refuse to play their game. Stop feeding their systems. That means questioning everything they've normalized, whether it's the way they hoard wealth, dictate worth, or define success. If their rules don't align with your soul, break them. Walk away from their tables, build your own. If they've trapped you in debt, start carving out freedom. Pay off what you can, barter where possible, live simpler but truer. If they fed you lies about your potential, start small but fierce. Learn a skill they'd never expect. Speak a truth they'd never dare. Every act of defiance, no matter how quiet, sends a ripple that erodes their foundation. Here's the raw part. You'll feel their fear as you rise. Inside, they know the wealth is returning. They sense it slipping away, rejecting their grip. Most terrifying of all, they know that you know. You see it in their eyes when you cross paths. The flicker of panic, the forced smiles, the way they tighten their hold on what's not theirs. Don't let that unnerve you. Use it. Their fear is confirmation you're on the right track. Neuroscience says fear sharpens perception. Let their dread heighten your clarity. Spiritually, it's proof the universe is balancing the scales. You're not just a threat to their game, you're the end of it. Stand taller in that truth. Now, let's talk balance, because this mission isn't a sprint. It's a war of endurance. The intensity of dismantling their illusions can burn you out if you're not careful. You'll feel rage some days, grief others. Rage at what they stole, grief for the time you lost. That's normal. Don't suppress it, but don't let it own you either. Ground yourself daily. Spend 10 minutes outside, feet on the earth, breath steady, eyes on the sky. Feel the bigger picture, you're not alone in this. The cosmos, your ancestors, the very dirt beneath you, they're all rooting for you. When the emotions hit hard, channel them into action, write, create, move. Don't let their poison fester in you. Turn it into fuel. Here's where it gets practical. Create your personal mission path. This isn't about copying someone else's blueprint. It's about carving yours. Start by asking yourself, what's the one thing I've always known I'm here to do? Maybe it's healing, building, teaching, exposing truth, whatever it is, it's been whispering to you since you were a kid. Write it down. Then break it into steps. If your mission is to create abundance free from their grip, start by planting seeds. Learn about money systems, grow food, trade skills. If it's to speak truth, begin where you stand, share what you know, even if it's just to one person. Small moves compound. Their downfall accelerates with every step you take toward your purpose. You'll need a plan to stay on track. Grab a notebook. Doesn't have to be fancy, and map it out. Day 1. Identify your core mission. Day 2. List 3 actions you can take this week that align with it. Day 3. Do one of them, no excuses. Repeat this weekly. Track your wins, even the tiny ones. They're proof you're shifting reality. And when you falter, because you will, don't spiral. Look at your hands, feel your pulse, and remember, from the moment you entered this world, something was different. You were never meant to fit their mold. You were meant to break it. This isn't just about you, it's about the new era you're building. Every time you act from your bloodline's truth, you're laying bricks for something better. Their false structures, greed, control, division, collapse faster when you live the opposite. Be generous where they hoarded. Be honest where they lied. Build community where they isolated. You're not just ending their reign. You're showing what comes next. People will watch you, some in awe, some in fear, but they'll see it's possible. You're the demonstration, the proof that destiny doesn't forget. Their downfall isn't coming. It's here. And you're the one making it real. In the end, this is your coronation. A crowning not of gold or titles, but of the unyielding truth that you were forged for this moment. The whispers in the wind, the cosmic signals, the bloodline's ancient contract, they've all converged to awaken the chosen one within you, not as a passive heir, but as a relentless architect of restoration. You stand now not merely to reclaim what was stolen, but to ignite a legacy so potent it shatters the shadows of their deceit, proving that the universe bends toward justice through the hands of those bold enough to claim their place in its design.